Einen wunderschönen Willkommen zum heutigen Abend. Willkommen zu einem Spiel, was heute released wurde und seit 22 im Kickstarter war. Ich habe es mit unterstützt. Wahrscheinlich auch der ein oder die andere, die noch hier dazukommen, auch. Müsste man halt sehen. Spielstand Zusammenfassung. Was ist das? Zeitbasierte Rätsel. Okay, ich lasse das jetzt mal frequenzvoll. Ja, ja, willkommen zu Foolish Mortals. Angelehnt an die zarten Klassiker der 90er, der großen Klassiker, kommt aus Großbritannien. Und interessanterweise, das finde ich richtig interessant, ist, dass wir halt Englisch und Deutsch haben. Aber keine deutsche Synchro, aber zumindest die beiden. Was ist denn Extras? Gucken. Ach so, das sind die. Und Hilfe. So wird gespielt. Ich gucke mal bloß kurz, ne? Foolish Mortals ist ein Point-and-Click-Adventure, bei dem du in der Geschichte vorankommst, indem du die Umgebung erkundest, nützliche Gegenstände sammelst und Rätsel löst. Rätsel gelost. Du steuerst Murphy McCallan, der zu Beginn des Spiels gerade auf der Insel angekommen ist, um den verlorenen Schatz von Bellemore Manor zu suchen. Klicke auf deine Umgebung, um mit ihr zu interagieren und baue dir ein Inventar mit Gegenständen auf, mit denen du die Rätsel um dich herum lösen kannst. Hast du eine versiegelte Kiste gefunden? Vielleicht kannst du sie mit einer Brechstange aufhebeln oder könntest du aus etwas in deinem Inventar eine Brechstange herstellen. Denk dran, du kannst nichts in der falschen Reihenfolge machen. Du wirst nie in einer Situation sein, aus der du nicht weiterkommst. Du wirst nie für deine Neugier bestraft werden und du kannst das Spiel niemals verlieren, indem du stirbst. Also lass dich von nichts davon abhalten, auf Entdeckungsreise zu gehen. Das klingt schon mal gut. Steuerung. Interagieren, Doppelklick Schnellreise, Rechtsklick untersuchen, okay. Gehe zu Untersucher, nimm interagiere, rede mit verlassen und so weiter und so fort. Ich würde mal sagen, lass uns spielen. Klick. Spaß.
They said there was a treasure on the island. Its location, known only to the dead. I could see it in my dreams. How was I supposed to know that in order to find it, I'd have to die too?
Geschrieben, inszeniert und produziert von David Younger. Mit dem hatte ich heute Kontakt. Weil ich habe die Umfragen für den Key nicht gemacht. Und da das Spiel heute released wurde, musste ich ihn dann anschreiben. Weil ich die Umfragen vor 2 Wochen nicht gemacht habe. Aber ich habe meinen Key noch bekommen rechtzeitig. Heute. Vorm Spielen. 2 Stunden zuvor. Oh, Francesco González hat mitgespielt. Das ist schön.
Well, I think you're a fool. Everyone on Devil's Rock knows what happened to that house. Over 30 years it stood empty now. Locals won't go near it. I say all it contains now is dust, cobwebs, and Bad luck.
I don't have time for ghost stories.
Then what do you want with it?
33 years ago, the Bellemore Trading Company was wound up and absorbed by the state. The owner's dead, the heir nowhere to be found. Money was missing from the company accounts, and it's still unaccounted for. I'm here to find it.
So you're a treasure hunter?
Not quite. I'm an auditor.
An auditor? Records, taxes, all that stuff?
Think of me as the adventurer of the accounts book. But on this case, I'm out of office and on location. At 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, the state's claim on that money lapses for good along with my commission. So I've got one night to find it. I'm overdue for a meeting with the parish comptroller to reopen the case.
The comptroller you're meeting wouldn't happen to be Theodore Grimes, would it?
Yes, I believe it is.
Would be hard to convince him, I'd say.
Why's that? I'm a good talker.
He died about 4 days ago. I'd wager he's waiting to be buried in St. Juniper Cemetery, stiff as a board.
Okay, that might be tricky. Talking to the dead isn't quite within my skill set.
Remember what I said about that house and bad luck?
My bad luck started long before that house. It's a 3-day journey to get here, and it took me 7. And ever since my suitcase got dropped overboard on the steamer, all I have to my name is a pocket watch, a magazine, and $1.
Less than $1, actually. You owe me for the taxi ride.
Na toll. So, ich muss mal kurz in die Optionen den Ton einstellen. Ich glaube, das ist ein bisschen Hardcore. Dann kann ich das hier wieder hochdrehen. Gucken, ob das was muss ich so viel, wa? Achso, man schreibt nichts darüber. Okay. Gut. Oh, ich habe bloß $1. Was haben wir
It was the
denn?
only dollar I had left after traveling to Devil's Rock.
Ist immer noch so laut, warte. So.
It was the pocket watch I'd been given when I reached 5 years as an auditor. I didn't know whether it was to celebrate the fact or rub it in.
Munter und makaber Zeitschrift, die verschwundene Hochzeit. In guten wie in schlechten Zeiten. Okay. Ein geheimnisvolles Herrenhaus, eine verwunschene Braut und ein Schatz, der bis heute unentdeckt geblieben ist, schlüpfen sie unter eine Decke, während wir ihnen die gruselige Geschichte der verschwundenen Hochzeit von Bellemore Manor erzählen. Man sagt, es geschah in der Halloween-Nacht 1899 auf der unheilvoll benannten Insel TEUFELSFELS. Genauso ist es, JP. Die Creme de la Creme der Gesellschaft Louisianas war zur feierlichen Hochzeit von Abigail Bellemore eingeladen, der jüngeren Schwester der Gebrüder Bellemore, den wohlhabenden Eigentümern der Bellemore Trading Company, die in den Gewässern der Karibik Handel trieb. Die gebürtigen Briten übernahmen die Bellemore Trading Company nach dem tragischen Tod ihrer Gründer, ihrer Eltern und adoptierten zugleich ihre kleine Schwester. Die Hochzeit von Abigail Bellemore galt als Höhepunkt des Jahres für die High Society Louisianas, doch schon im Vorfeld war sie von Skandalen und Tragödien überschattet. Abigail hatte einen Seemann, der auf den Schiffen arbeitet, ihre Liebe bekundet. Abigail hatte die heiratsfähigen Junggesellen im ganzen Süden abgewiesen und wurde nun von einem einfachen Bürger umworben, der ihr einen Antrag machte. Zunächst unsicher, aber getrieben von ihrer Liebe zu ihrer kleinen Schwester, gaben die Brüder ihre Zustimmung zu der Hochzeit und planten, sie zu einem spektakulären Ereignis zu machen. Aber eine Märchenhochzeit war das nicht. In den Monaten vor der Hochzeit verschwanden Abigails Brüder nacheinander und wurden nie wieder gesehen. Die Theorie dieses Autors? Mord. Aber wer könnte ein so abscheuliches Verbrechen begangen haben? Die Geschichte nimmt eine mysteriöse Wendung. Am Morgen der Hochzeit erklärte Abigail, dass sie nicht den tapferen Seemann heiraten würde, sondern stattdessen John Rackham, den ersten Offizier der Bellemore Trading Company und deren Geschäftsführer nach dem Verschwinden der Gebrüder Bellemore. Wurde die Braut dem Seemann gestohlen, wurde die Braut vom Offizier gerettet oder waren die beiden Männer lediglich Spielfiguren einer dämonischen Debütantin? Am nächsten Morgen war von einem frisch vermählten Paar keine Spur zu finden. Es heißt, dass in der Nacht ein gewaltiger grüner Blitz aus dem Herrenhaus geschossen sei und dass niemand, weder Braut noch Bräutigam noch irgendeiner der Gäste jemals wiedergesehen worden sei. Das Haus war verlassen. Die Bellemore Trading Company wurde aufgelöst und verkauft. Die Insel versank in Vergessenheit. Und doch wurde der Reichtum der Familie Bellemore nie gefunden. Gold, Juwelen und noch geheimnisvollere Schätze. All das bleibt weiterhin verborgen. Bis heute meiden alle, die die Vergangenheit des Hauses kennen, diesen Ort. Und noch immer steht es im Herzen des Bellemore-Anwesens verrottet und mit seinen verblassenen Geheimnissen, die weiterhin in seinem Innern verschlossen sind. Was ist mit der verschwundenen Hochzeit passiert? Was ist mit dem Bellemore-Schatz passiert? Die Geschichte wird noch seltsamer. Es gibt Gerüchte, dass die Gebrüder Bellemore sich für Okkultismus interessierten und dass diese Beschäftigung mit den dunklen Künsten sie in den Abgrund gestürzt haben könnte. Könnte Voodoo aus ihren Karibik-Expeditionen in Bellemore Manor Einzug gehalten haben? Gelegentlich strahlt der Nachthimmel über den Teufelsfels noch immer in einem grünen Schein. Eine Erinnerung an jene schicksalhafte Nacht, in der eine ganze Hochzeitsgesellschaft verschwand. Oder ist es vielleicht ein Leuchtfeuer, das den Weg zu einem unschätzbaren Schatz verweist, der noch immer auf ein Abenteuer wartet, der töricht genug ist, sich auf die Suche danach zu begeben, bis dass der Tod uns scheidet. Yardley Bellemore. Was haben wir denn da? Wenn es sein Terminkalender zulässt, war er in der Koryphäe der Bühne an beiden Küsten. Zunächst schrieb und spielte er Theaterstücke, später jedoch gab er aufgrund seines schnell wachsenden Geschäfts seinen Terminkalender vollständig ausfüllte, deren Produktion im Rahmen seiner philanthropischen Bemühungen in Auftrag. Als Mitglied des Kapitänsclubs und der Globetrotter-Gilde war Xavier das Herzstück der Unternehmung der Bellemore Trading Company in der Karibik, wo die drei Brüder lukrative Handelsverträge abschlossen, die sich bis in die Vereinigten Staaten über den Atlantik hinaus erstreckten. Und dann haben wir noch Cecil. Er galt als Genie aufgrund seiner Erfindung und seiner wissenschaftlichen Genauigkeit in den Bereichen Elektrizität und Transportwesen. Es gibt zahlreiche Gerüchte über mögliche technologische Entdeckungen, die angekündigt worden wären, wenn er nicht verschwunden wäre. Ein Kamm und etwas Seidenpapier sind alles, was du brauchst, um Musik zu machen. Sende uns einfach den untenstehenden Coupon mit 5 Cent zu, um die erforderlichen Materialien zu erhalten. Werde berühmt, wie du es dir schon immer erträumt hast. Werde ein musikalisches Genie. Warum auch nicht? Ach, ich muss ihm das Geld geben. Entschuldigung, tut mir leid.
And here's your change.
Didn't you say you'd take me into town?
You can walk from here. No one with any sense will go further onto this island at night. And remember, the tide's coming in. Within the hour, you'll be cut off from the mainland until tomorrow.
That suits me. I took the pocket watch out of my vest and clicked open the cover. I've got 13 hours to find $13 million.
Unlucky for some, but if you're really dead set on it, here's a tip. Go find the Spirit Queen.
The Spirit Queen? Who is that?
I think you'll find you mean, what's that? Good luck, Murphy McAllen.
Prolog, die Spirit Queen.
Walking into the port town of Deadnettle, I could sense its history in every stone, brick, and plank. Echoes of merchant ships loading and unloading all manner of cargo from expeditions throughout the Caribbean. Gold and treasure that may still lie hidden on the island.
Okay. Haben wir sowas wie einen Hotspot? Ja, Leertaste ist ein Hotspot, das ist gut. Feuer ist wahrscheinlich irgendwas, was wir aktivieren können.
The door was locked with a sign in the window saying, "Closed for private appointment, reopening shortly." I could see 2 gentlemen inside the store. A spindly man with a wiry mustache had his face pressed against a display cabinet, while a diminutive older gentleman tried desperately to pull him away. I'd seen similar behavior in Laurel and Hardy pictures.
Ach, die Alten. Durchgang, Schild. Pupptheater. So, Pupptheater. Ah, okay.
The sign read, "The fantastic Fantocchio brothers will be performing tonight. All ages welcome. Tips welcome even more." The puppet show hadn't started yet. A paper sign hung on the front of the theater. One side displayed the flair and fanciness of a person skilled with a fountain pen. The other side revealed it had been written on the back of a cut-up cereal box.
Es ist also
The
unterschiedlich.
sign read, A paper sign hung on the front of one side.
Rechte Maustaste und linke Maustaste sind unterschiedlich.
Set up on the seafront was an elaborate carved wood puppet theater with Pulcinella painted across the top.
Die sind unterschiedlich. Also das klingt, als ob das hier um die Ecke ist, ey.
I had heard of the medical benefits of open-air night swimming. To my mind, the only medical benefit was diagnosing insanity in the people willing to do it. The latter was covered in rust from the salty sea air, barely hanging on to the crumbling masonry.
Dann lassen wir das auch so, wie es ist.
The decorative iron gate was closed with a secure lock. I shook the gate, but it wasn't going to open. Down the passageway, I could make out a portion of an illuminated courtyard and the echoing trickle of a fountain. The poster advertised billiards at the Captain's Club, with 3 billiard balls and 2 cues framing a cube of billiard chalk. A faded poster had been pasted on the wall of the alcove. It had clearly been there for years.
Slap me with a paddle. It's a whopper.
Oh.
Well, blast my barnacles. That's the 3rd one tonight. These fish sure must have been spooked by something.
I thought better of swimming out to the wreck. As best as I could tell, all it contained was dock mud and the future promise of an antibiotics prescription. The tip of a wooden boat poked above the water, clearly the remains of a rather unfortunate expedition.
Also ich nehme mal an, wenn ich hier durchgehe, komme ich da raus, okay.
A notice board stood outside the newspaper office, containing a mixture of advertisements and front pages from previous issues. Of all of the papers pinned to the board, one article stood out to me. It showed the beaming face of a rotund fisherman on the docks, with a headline declaring he'd just broken the island's heaviest catch record. Of all of the papers, it showed the beaming...
Okay.
It was the door to a newspaper office. A note on the door said, "Out on a scoop. Back later."
Okay.
The door led into a building that had Juniper Parish Gazette painted on the side.
Oh, hier sind Klamotten.
The clothesline was decidedly out of reach, even for a person who wanted to steal someone's freshly laundered undergarments. I wasn't one of those people. Shirts, socks, and oversized underwear had been left out to dry overnight. Are the fish biting?
Not so well today, to tell the truth. That was the first nibble in hours. I'm Ned Kipps, by the way. I haven't seen you around here before.
I'm here because I have a very important job on this island. A calling that only I can fulfill. Dark secrets that I need to uncover.
Oh, you're a tourist. Now, why on earth would you choose Devil's Rock as the place to vacation?
I must have done something to upset my travel agent. The name's Murphy McCallan.
Nice to meet you, Mac. Not peckish, are you? You can help yourself to what I got here in my bucket if you like.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, danke.
The expectations of a local seafood delicacy quickly unraveled when I plunged my hands into what felt like lumpy jelly. Ugh! There was a handful of fish guts.
Ah, that's the best bait you get around here. They smell pretty bad, but the critters on this island love them. Who would have known they're good at suckering in tourists, too?
Okay.
Have you heard of the Spirit Queen?
Heard of her? Sure. But I wouldn't be heading out to the bayou at this time of night.
If she's out there, that's where I need to go.
Murphy, bayou's dangerous. It's not the kind of place you want to go alone.
I'll be careful.
Well, if you're set on it, just take the western route out of town, left at Pimlico Rock, then right on into the bayou. Without dark it gets in there, you'll see the lights guiding you the last stretch of the way. Just make sure the gators don't get too attached to you.
Okay. Oh, das sieht aus wie...
What's life like in Dead Nettle?
Well, it's not the hustle and bustle it used to be, but it suits me just fine. The ships just don't come through Dead Nettle anymore. Not since the disappearance.
He must have been talking about the Bellemore wedding. The locals actually believed the story. Have you ever considered moving to the mainland?
Nah, I wouldn't like it over there. Crazies, oddballs, crackpots. The mainland doesn't have any of them.
What's that you're reading?
This is Herman Melville's Moby Dick.
Are you enjoying it?
I'm struggling my way through it, to be honest. I thought it was a how-to book. I much prefer the last book I read. It was much more action-packed.
What book was that?
The Encyclopedia of Fishing Lures, 3rd edition.
I'm going to get back to exploring the island.
I wouldn't go looking for it if I were you, you know.
Excuse me?
folks this island gets now either seem to be looking for something or running away from something. You look like you're doing both. You got your eye on that Bellemore treasure, and I wouldn't be doing right by you if I didn't warn you to stay away from it. I know this island has a reputation for the macabre, and it's all fun and games in the beginning, but dig too deep, and you end up in a place you don't want to be.
What makes you think I... Ned looked at me in a way that told me my playing innocent wasn't going to work. Okay, that's right, but I'm not a grave robber. I'm an auditor, contracted by the state.
It don't matter what your reasons are, Mac. You need to be careful with that house. Us locals, we don't go anywhere near it.
I appreciate the concern, but who can really say they've seen a ghost?
I have, Murphy, and I'm not the only one. Ever since the disappearance, anyone brave or foolish enough to go up to their house has seen the same thing. You might say it was moonlight shimmering off dusty glass, the shadow of a tree branch, or a curtain blown by an unseen breeze. But deep down, we all know what we saw.
What did you see?
The phantom. It's not something anyone will forget. Every poor soul who's seen the phantom has been plagued by the most awful experience. Night after night of endless nightmares. Months of restless sleep. Just visions of faces. Evil faces. Laughing. It's like it can infect your dreams.
And who do you think the phantom is? Or was?
Nobody knows. But it must have been someone at that awful wedding. Someone who doesn't want to leave the house. Or doesn't want to let anyone in.
I appreciate your concern, but I have a job to do. I don't think my boss would be too happy if I report back that ghosts and ghouls are what's standing in my way.
You're not the first to come looking for the treasure, you know.
But if I find it, I could be the last.
Whether you find it or not, I hope that's true. For everyone's sake.
Ned's talk of nightmares was the last thing I needed to be worried about. Even if it was a job, ever since I read about the Bellemore treasure, all I could do was dream about finding it. The fisherman sat on the edge of the dock looking as content as a cat with a can of tuna. And with the same smell, too.
Okay.
A fishing net had been stretched between two poles to dry, and then clearly forgotten about. The fishing net was worn and useless. Using it would have been like trying to catch soup with a sieve.
Warum auch nicht?
It was a billboard advertising Bloom's canned beef. Of all the ways to eat beef, the canned form was definitely at the bottom of my list of preferences. The billboard poster was peeling away to reveal layers of advertisements underneath, like some sort of consumeristic onion.
Da ist noch was.
I wasn't going to climb the mast. I had neither the proficiency with electrical equipment nor the desire to get electrocuted. It was a telegraph mast, with cables radiating outwards to the buildings surrounding it.
Okay. Der Nettel, da sind wir gerade gewesen, da kamen wir her. Ich gehe mal trotzdem noch mal hin.
As I returned to the beach, I could see the causeway was now fully flooded over by the rising tide. I was trapped here until dawn. I didn't want to take the little girl's balloon from her. Her brooding face made it more than clear that it wouldn't be a good idea to get on her bad side.
Sieht aus, als hätte sie eine Schwester.
The helium-filled balloon bobbed gently in the breeze. A little girl sat hunched over a tide pool, accessorizing her pretty dress and ribboned hair with a scowl as cold as an iceberg. It was the face that could sink 1,000 ships.
Oh. Was haben wir da?
A tin boat puttered around the tide pool, watched unenthusiastically by the little girl. I peered into the tide pools, but all I could see was pebbles, sand, and seaweed. The beach was dotted by tide pools, partly filled with seawater. Hello? Little girl? You lost your mommy and daddy? It's late, there could be a lot of strange people around.
Yeah, I think I'm talking to one.
Maybe I should introduce myself. My name's Murphy McCallan. What's yours?
Mallory Wisp, angel on the outside, malevolent force of disparagement, derision, and disorder on the inside. At least, that's what Mrs. Huxley wrote in my school report. Hey, do you know what an enfant terrible is?
Do your parents know you're here?
Of course they do. This is my happy place. I come here when I need to cheer up.
Okay.
What's got you down?
It's my birthday, and I didn't get the present I wanted.
Well, happy birthday. Is being out here helping?
A little. It's a nice place to plot my revenge.
This doesn't sound like an appropriate way for a little girl to spend her time.
Little girl? Little girl? What am I supposed to like? Posies and princesses? Tiaras and tea parties? Those are not my thing.
How are you planning on getting revenge?
I'm not sure. Currently, I'm at the plotting and ruminating stage of my plan.
What are you plotting and ruminating about?
How things would be different if I was in charge of the world. We had a school project last week. What we want to be when we grow up. Mildred wanted to be a baker. Bobby wanted to be a firefighter.
What did you want to be?
Queen of the universe.
I guess no one can accuse you of lacking ambition. Do you think you could fix the world's problems and make the world a better place if you were in charge?
Oh, absolutely not. It would be far worse. My patience is worn so thin with all the idiots around me. I don't know if it would be wise for me to wield that much power. You to the dungeons! You to the torture room! It would be very cathartic for me, though.
Okay.
What present did you want for your birthday?
A doll?
A doll?
What's wrong with wanting a doll?
Nothing. I just didn't expect it. It doesn't quite fit with your whole aura.
I'm still a little girl. I don't have to defy all your stereotypes. Instead, I get this stupid tin boat. I know Sebastian's got something to do with it, too. He was all over the tin boat when I showed him my toy catalog from Mulligan's.
Is he one of your friends?
Not in a million years. You can see right through him.
Shouldn't you be heading home?
I'm in trouble at home. Mrs. Huxley held me back for detention yesterday. Again.
What did you do?
I convinced 3/4 of the class to sign over their eternal souls to me in exchange for some jelly beans. Third graders are remarkably easy to manipulate with a bag of candy and a little peer pressure.
Why did you do that?
You've got to speculate to accumulate.
Why did you want their souls? What use do you have for them?
Just making sure I'm prepared. And that's just step one.
I didn't dare ask what she was preparing for. Have you heard of the Spirit Queen?
Look, if Maury put you up to this, you can tell him that I have no intention of going anywhere near his big, boring boat again. And anyway, those skulls look better with a little lipstick on them. I even made some cowrie necklaces for them, but nope, if we have a skeletal uprising, they're just going to have to maraud without being dolled up. And they'll have to take it up with Maury.
Who's Moray?
Nope, not falling for it.
Do you like living on Devil's Rock?
This island is cut off from society, an isolated microcosm of the dark and macabre. If I'm honest, it fits me quite nicely. Lots of places to explore, too, when I'm not banned from them.
Where are you banned from?
Where am I not? The captain's club wouldn't let me in after I declared a mutiny. The lady at the newspaper office kicked me out when I tried selling stories about a zombie uprising. The witch doctor in the bayou threatened to hex me if I didn't stop sneaking on board and borrowing his toys. And the gravedigger banned me from the cemetery when I played a teensy little practical joke.
What did you do?
I convinced him the stiff he'd buried was still alive. People are so antisocial around here.
Oh,
I
Mann.
better get going.
I wouldn't walk across the beach again if I were you. This beach is covered in quicksand. I can hop along the surface, but with your weight, you'll be sucked down like a noodle.
Oh no. Really? This beach has quicksand?
Nah, I'm just messing with you. Tourists.
Den Spruch, Tourist, den kenne ich nur allzu gut. Escape macht nicht das Menü auf, das irritiert mich. Escape macht gar nichts. Das irritiert mich noch mehr. So, können wir das Ding mitnehmen?
Despite the little girl's disparaging look at her tiny toy, I doubted she'd be okay with me commandeering it.
Dann müssen wir sie erschrecken, oder? Okay, ich glaube, hier wären wir nicht glücklich gerade. Was haben wir denn hier? Ein alter Dampfer.
After what felt like miles, the eerie darkness of the bayou gave way to the soft orange glow of a gas lamp. And beyond it, the last thing I expected to find in the heart of the swamp. Hand-painted lettering on the side of a paddle wheel revealed the Spirit Queen wasn't a person, it was a riverboat. Its hull sagged, the wood swollen and split from years in the swamp. Peeling paint curled like dead skin, and what remained of its once grand decks now tilted and crooked. It looked like a wedding cake that had been left to rot.
Ja, jetzt.
It was an aging water tower used to replenish the steam engine aboard the riverboat.
Aber hat doch... okay, ich frag nicht.
I considered climbing the water tower, but I couldn't imagine what I'd find at the top other than stagnant, moldy water. And there was plenty of that in the bayou already. The glass of the window was so thick with dust and grime I couldn't see through it. Nope.
Schade.
The damp air of the bayou had swelled the window in its frame. It would need more force than my bare hands could supply to open it. I jiggled the handle, but the door was locked.
Ist das hier ein Schädel? Schrumpfkopf, Tatsache.
As I took the shrunken head from the sign, it almost seemed to grin at me. Creepy.
Aber warum?
That didn't work. Hand-feeding the alligator didn't seem like a good idea. What if it bit off more than I was offering? The shrunken head was already disturbing enough without shoving rotting seafood inside it. I couldn't do that. The shrunken head was dry and desiccated.
Okay.
A swiveling wooden crane used to load up cargo in days gone by stood halfway along the jetty. It was the pocket watch I'd been given when I reached 5 years as an... I didn't know whether it was to celebrate the fact or rub it in. It was the pocket watch I'd been given. I didn't know whether it was to celebrate the fact...
Oh.
A fierce-looking alligator blocked my way along the jetty. A broken chain hung from its neck like a leash, but this creature definitely wasn't under control. Its milky eyes stared past me, but I could tell from the way it shifted, the way its nostrils flared, that it knew exactly where I was. The alligator snapped at me like a sprung trap, giving me more than enough reason to stay well away from those teeth. If I wanted to get across the jetty, I needed to make sure the alligator wasn't on it.
Okay. Dogmaster. Warte mal.
The fish guts could definitely draw the alligator's attention, but not if they sank into the bayou.
Danke für den Hinweis.
The shrunken head was already I needed to think of something else.
Wir brauchen irgendwas, was schwimmt, ne? So, was haben wir hier?
The wooden shack had a single door. From the moss growing on it, it looked like it hadn't been used for years.
Entschuldigung.
I jiggled the handle, but the door was locked. A hand-painted wooden sign was nailed precariously to the front of the shack. The sign read Dockmaster. Presumably, this little shack was where documents and licenses pertaining to the riverboat's operation were stored.
Okay.